Okay, so as promised, here we have the instructional video for how to do this case study here. Right, so this is really just kind of a review. I'm going to want you to fill out the two pieces of it. Right, so there's a Word document, and then there's also an Excel file. And what I'm going to do, go back to that Word document. What I'm going to do is kind of walk you through it, tell you the story, and show you how to get started on the Word document, and then we'll skip to the Excel document just to sort of get you started on that piece too. And this kind of reinforces the material we did in modules, well, in the first 3 modules, right? The accounting equation and what accounting is about. And, you know, it really kind of illustrates why it's important. Okay, so here's the story. On the first Saturday after school is out, Patrick and his family go to the park for a picnic. After lunch, Patrick goes for a walk with his good friend Sandy. At one end of the park, he sees a young whale selling lemonade in front of a house across the street. He recognizes the girl as one of his classmates, and Patrick and Sandy cross the street for a chat. His classmate Pearl is doing a brisk business selling lemonade at 25 cents a cup and shows Patrick a shoebox full of dollar bills and quarters. On the way home, Patrick asks if he can set up a drinkable sausage stand next Saturday. His buddy SpongeBob, who likes to build things with coral, offers to build him a drinkable sausage stand if he can pay him for the materials, about $10 plus $1 for his labor. His other sidekick, Squidward, offers to help out, and Patrick agrees to pay Squidward $2 to be his assistant. The next Friday, Patrick's mom estimates that the amount of sausage mix and other supplies that he will need if he sells 80 cups of drinkable sausage. Patrick gets $15 from his piggy bank, and then he goes to the grocery store with Mom, and they buy the items on Mom's list for $10. When they arrive home, they find that SpongeBob has delivered the sausage stand. It has a counter, a sign that says drinkable sausage 25 cents, and a bench for Patrick to sit on. Patrick's mom says that he can use this stand every Saturday for the rest of the summer, or a total of 11 Saturdays. SpongeBob has already left, but has told Sandy that he'll be there at 9 a.m. tomorrow to fill his jug with sausage before he goes fishing, and that he will collect the $11 for the sausage stand sometime after he gets home Sunday afternoon. While they're setting up the stand in the front yard, Cousin Gary drops by. After Patrick tells Gary what he's planning to do, Gary gives him $1 and says he'll bring his family around the next day for 4 cups of sausage. Patrick counts his money. He's already earned $6 from his business, and he hasn't even started working yet. All right, so basically, this whole story, right, is a bunch of transactions that we want to first record over here just as the cash is happening, right? So Friday, we have a plus 15 here. And we buy $10 of sausage ingredients, so that's a negative 10. And then SpongeBob delivers the sausage stand, but will collect on Sunday. And then Gary pays $1 for 4 cups he will get Saturday. Okay, so you see, you just go through and write in, either print this thing out and write it in by hand and then take a picture, or write in everything that happens, right? So we sell, 96 cups for cash at 25 cents. Plankton buys 4 cups, we'll pay tomorrow, that's 0. Okay, there's 0 here with Gary and his family picking up their 4 cups. Okay, so you just go through and write down all these transactions as they occur, following along with the story. And when you get to the end, right, that net cash flow, probably when you see it in the unedited portion, will be on the same page. And then we're going to have this discussion. So do you believe that Patrick's concept of earnings is a good way to measure how much he earned from each day from his sausage business? Why or why not? And what does it mean to earn income? And can you think of a better way to measure the income from Patrick's sausage stand? And if so, what was the daily income of Patrick's sausage stand using this better method? Right, so I'm going to want you to just jot down your thoughts here on the document, okay, because I'm going to want you to hand this in. Okay, now that's part one. Okay, part two, what you need to do is go over into this Excel sheet, which looks a lot like the Cengage that you did, and you're going to want to take and refer to these transactions and enter them properly in double entry bookkeeping. So for instance, this first one, Patrick gets $15 from the piggy bank to fund the business. Well, that you increase cash by $15, and we're going to call that capital stock, right? That's his initial investment. Right, so now we have our double entry bookkeeping. Our assets are equal to our liabilities and equity. The accounting equation is in balance, and we're keeping proper track of these transactions. So let's see, what's another one? Number 4, Gary pays $1, right, for 4 cups he's going to get on Saturday. Right, and so that is essentially, you get a positive $1, and we have a liability here, which we can go ahead and call it a sausage payable if we want to, right? I mean, it's technically it's unearned revenue, but we'll call it a sausage payable. So that's how you do number 4. So now again, you've got double entry bookkeeping, and your assets are in balance with your liabilities and your equity. The other really tricky one here is number 11. The sausage stand is good for another 10 weeks. Now, if you remember, the sausage stand cost $11, and it was expected to last for 11 weeks. And so that's a depreciation issue. Right, so you have to recognize the expense, even though it's not a cash expense. You got to recognize the wear and tear on that sausage stand. Right, so this is depreciation. So let me just make a note over here. Number 11 is depreciation on the sausage stand. Right, and remember, the way that we deal with depreciation is we reduce retained earnings. And this is going to be $1, right, because we used up 1 out of 11 weeks. It was not a cash item. What it was a reduction in the value of the stand. Right? So again, our asset is worth $1 less, and we're recognizing that $1 less as an expense, which reduces retained earnings. Okay, so I've given you a few breadcrumbs here. You guys can fill out in the rest, and then at the end of the day, what you need to do, right, if all you got to do here is just say sum in this cell here and just sum up everything, all the assets, and as long as you have used the proper signage, right? So we had 15 plus 1 minus 1. As long as you've used the proper signs for your transactions, it should add up fine if you just take the whole thing, right? And likewise, you can sum up all your total liabilities and equity. And if they're the same, then you can be pretty sure that you've done it right. So that's how I want you to do this review. If you have questions about it, I want you to Zoom me one-on-one. We'll go through it every step of the way. And if you can do this, then you're all set with financial accounting. You know how it's done, and then the test will make sure that you know all the vocabulary and the concepts, and then we'll be done with this topic, and we'll move on to managerial accounting.